Hi guys, this video is about sublime theory in literature. It is imperative to understand this theory, especially in order to understand romantic literature, because in Frankenstein, in Coleridge's poetry, as well as in other romantic novels, you will find the element of sublimity. So I hope you will get a hang of it if you stick to the end. So without much ado, let's begin. Now the concept of sublime has been continuously developed throughout century. But first, this concept is attributed to the Greek critic Dionysius Longinus, who wrote a book in the first century named Perihypsos or On Sublimity. Okay, there he writes that the sublime is a certain eminence or perfection of language, and that the greatest writers, both in verse and prose, have by this alone obtained their prize of glory and filled all time with their renown. So the main thing you see here, the language, he takes the medium rhetoric. Through this medium, the sublime effect could be created. Okay, and also for that you need to have five qualities or five techniques that he later talks about. These are boldness or grandeur of thoughts. Okay, but remember that out of these five techniques, the first two techniques, he says that these are gifts of nature, it cannot be learned or taught. But later three techniques, these could be learned or taught. Okay, now the ability to transport one's audience, here he writes in X that the sublime is a masterfully crafted force of language so powerful that it overcomes rationality, causing the audience to submit to incomprehensible feelings and leaving them overwhelmed and in awe of the experience that transported them into a realm of sentiment beyond description. Remember that today the way we use a sublime, it means something which is very nice or awe inspiring, but the way these philosophers viewed is completely different. Okay, here you see the transport, he uses the word transport. So the ability to transport one's audience in writing or public speaking to the plane of great thoughts or passions. You see, the sublime is transport, passionate language that induces the hearer to think lofty thoughts, and these lofty thoughts pull the audience out of their common ideas. So it takes you an elevated state of mind. So it forces the audience to think or to perceive in a mode that is beyond normality. Okay, later that's Philip Shaw. He wrote a book where he explains Longinus Sublime. He describes Longinus Sublime as raping the audience mind. So the way Longinus talks about this sublime could be heard or imagined in the great speaker, legendary speaker like Abraham Lincoln, Cicero, Churchill, Kennedy. Okay, in public speaking or in great writing, these sublime effect could be created. Okay, but only through language and rhetoric. But he never talks about any other natural experience in nature or objects that we later find in Bach's theory of sublime. Okay, the philosophers actually differs from the sources of sublime. Now let's move to Bach's Barkian theory of sublime. Now you have to remember that he completely descends from Longinus Sublime. Okay, the main difference between Longinus Sublime, Barkan Sublime is the source. Bark says that whatever is fitted in any sort to excite the ideas of pain and danger, that is to say, whatever is conversant about terrible objects or operates in a manner analogous to terror, is a source of sublime. So Longinus, he takes the medium of rhetoric and language. Here Bach takes the medium, visual medium. So it could be any objects, it could be any animal, it could be any art of an artist. Okay, man-made construction. So objects of perception of terror and power. So this is the main thing. So the whole theory of Burkean sublime, we can sum it up through this line: beautiful, terrorizing, feeling insignificant with no immediate harm. He gives example of powerful storm or mountain cliff. ওকে, আমাদের এটা অনেকেরই এক্সপিরিয়েন্স হয়েছে, লাইক যখন 10 তলার বিল্ডিংয়ের ওপর কেউ দাঁড়িয়ে আছে, ঠিক আছে, মানে হোয়েন ইউ লুক অ্যাট আদার সাইড, ওকে, ইট সিমস ভেরি বিউটিফুল, বাট হোয়েন ইউ লুক ডাউন স্টেয়ার্স, ইট কাইন্ড অফ feel terrorizing. Okay, Barken sublime, it's a kind of experience, okay, that we feel when we look at objects or when we are in certain kind of situation, when we feel beautiful remaining at safe distance, because এখানে বলে দিচ্ছে with no immediate harm, and which seems at the same time beautiful and terrorizing. And when we are in this kind of situation, we feel ourselves as an insignificant being. Okay, ফর এক্সাম্পল অ্যাভালাঞ্চ যেমন এক্সাম্পল অর পাওয়ারফুল স্টর্ম, এখানে আবার বাগ বলে যে যদি ইফ ইট প্রেসেস টু নিয়ারলি, ওকে, তো এটা তখন আর সাবলাইম হবে না, এটা তখন টেরিবল হয়ে যাবে। ওকে, হি সেজ দ্য হোয়েন ডেঞ্জার অর পেন প্রেস টু নিয়ারলি they are incapable of giving any delight or simply terrible. Okay, so Bark and Sublime is kind of oxymoronic, delightful fear, মানে এটা fear at the same time delightful. Okay, লাইক যখন পাওয়ারফুল স্টর্ম আসছে, ওকে, তো আমি বাড়িতে বসে আছি আর at a safe distance, when we look at the sky through window, so it seems beautiful but at the same time kind of terrorizing. Okay, এটাই হচ্ছে মেন ব্যাপার। এবার লনজাইনাস কি বলে যে বিউটিফুল অ্যান্ড সাবলাইম, গ্রেট রাইটিং অফ এ গ্রেট রাইটার, দিজ আর ওয়েল রিটেন, ওকে, well loved and beautiful, and at the same time these writings have that kind of agency to create sublimity. So beautiful and sublime, according to Longinus, they go hand in hand, they coincide. But for Bach, he says beautiful and sublime, they cannot go hand in hand, because beautiful মধ্যে এই টেরোরাইজিং এফেক্টটা থাকবেই না। And also, what is the main significance of this experience that Bach says that when we encounter with this sublime effect, পাওয়ারফুল স্টর্মের মধ্যে আছে, যখন নিজেকে ইনসিগনিফিকেন্ট মনে হচ্ছে, তার কারণটা হচ্ছে বিকজ আমাদের আওয়ার ইগোইজম, আওয়ার প্রাইড সিম লেস ইমপ্রেসিভ, ইট অলসো মেক্স আস মোর টলারেন্ট। সো this is the main positive side of this sublime experience. Though we feel insignificant in other dimension, we feel large or significant. Okay, so এটা একটা ডিফারেন্স হচ্ছে বিউটিফুল অ্যান্ড সাবলাইম, যেটা লনজাইনাস বলেছে। অ্যান্ড অলসো দ্য সোর্সেস, লনজাইনাস কখনোই বলেনি এনি আদার অ্যাবাউট এনি অবজেক্টস অর এনি পাওয়ারফুল অ্যানিমাল দ্যাট, for example, if you read Coleridge's poetry, if you read Kubla Khan, okay, where he says deep romantic chasm or sunless sea, so if you imagine this imagery, okay, so it kind of creates sublime effect. Or in this poetry he says that demon lover, okay, so who is the demon lover? So this is the element of sublime we find in literature. But later, so to sum it up, the Bargain sublime is objectively objective. The source of the sublime effect lies in the object itself, okay, which is completely different from Kant's theory of sublime. Kant theory of sublime is subjectively subjective, okay. So and also it's kind of oxymoronic, so delightful terror, মানে terror at the same time delightful or beautiful. Okay, so if you remove this part, terrorizing, so it will be only beautiful, and it all, if you replace beautiful with more terrorizing effect, then it will be simply terrible. Okay, so I hope you understood this. So thank you.